Hello everybody, how you doing today? Welcome back to 2B2T and Fusion's Adventures, where we continue to travel out towards the 500k mark, not going into the nether, and just working through exploring. Last episode we found a little village that someone had started a little life in a long time ago, multiple years, 2023 at least, if not older. And then some signs left by other visitors. Excuse me as I yawn. So that was cool. Neat to find. That's just a temple over there. Nothing to be too excited about. And we're just continuing out. We can see we've got 1.12 trails and 1.19 trails here on our map, as well as new territories. So we're just going to keep going south to get to our target. It's not like I'm in a hurry, but I am, in some ways I'm in a hurry because I'm excited to get to do the new version of this series. Someone has modified this. They put leaves all over it. And then they caught on fire. Not sure why. Never know with people. I'm sure I'm passing ruins and bases left and right, just out of range. But, you know, that's what happens when you can only see 32 chunks and render things 32 chunks away. You're just kind of stuck with what you can see. There's another obsidian tower built up into the sky that someone has built. Sometimes I wonder too on some of those, you know, when you see towers like that, was it you know, a long time ago and back in the day when maybe they didn't have like free look as an example, like what I have right now. So they just built the tower up really high so that they could look around and see what's around them. Because you have to remember, you know, if you go back multiple years, the mods and stuff that people were using were different, and free look might not have been something that was active. And then there was a period of time where elytras did not work on the server. They just, I don't know if they didn't exist. They may have existed, but they didn't work. Because at the time, Housemaster was concerned about, you know, people flying all over the place and loading tons of chunks and the server being able to support it back when it was a lot smaller, right? Fortunately, that's changed. Which is good. Out to the boat, into the boat, out to the boat, into the boat. Could run around the edge. Is that a bed? That's a bed. Probably for a village, right? If I pop over there, yep, there's just a village there. Just gonna kind of skirt around the landmass here, stay in the water a little bit longer. One of my favorite biomes, just because it seems more complete with the mossy cobblestone and the coarse dirt and the gravel variations and the dirt variations and grass, and then the ferns, big and small and tall, small and tall, short and tall. Oh, well, excuse you. Here, I'm gonna go faster than you on this ice. See ya. Ha 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 ha, you'll never catch up to me. Do 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 do. Sometimes I get running, it's like in the back of my mind I'm hearing the Mario Brothers music of when you get the star, you know. The invincibility music, right? I know I didn't do the sound or the song justice, but that's because I don't want to be copyrighted. Aha! Aha! Look, we have found something. We have found player life. How about that? See? That's the thing about this journey, is that you're just going along and you just find stuff. Of course, it's nighttime again, as always. So we'll have to explore this with mobs around. Got the start of some sort of a highway. We've got chests down here. Not lots. We've got signs and stuff down below and lots of portals. Nothing, 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 nothing. Ah, well, I didn't expect anything. Hey, I recognize that banner. Being profound is the very tiring process. When I get to my second set on the bench presses, have a good day or night. Keep well-rested travelers. Well, there's no beds in here to rest. How are we to stay rested? I forget, we'll put the banner back because I already have a copy of this, but... Hello? No, a sword doesn't destroy a banner. But really, where'd the banner go? Is it up on the roof? Oh. Well, that would explain it. I didn't see if there was a message saying it had restarted. No, there's no messages about a restart. This is something else. My proxy's still connected, so it's just me. All right. I was going to say, all I did was grab the banner. Why would it? Yeah, P.R. Thomas's banner. Well, thank you for the quote, P.R. Thomas. Let's see what else you got around here. Doesn't look like much. What do we got? Can a single man tell himself stories at a campfire? After all, his stories would only go as far as himself. Someone visited not too long ago, 1025. March. Its Papa was here. All right. Excuse me. Sorry. Wind Rider was here as well. Only lasts as long as the lumberjack chops its trees. One day long from the land's founding, the lumberjack is the only tree left to be chopped. Well, got a lot of quotes going on around here. That's his bed upstairs. Another quote. Hun's second house. Take care of it for me. I've always called myself Huns, but you can call me Hun Snow. Okay. We've been carrying this around. We're gonna put it there, and we're gonna add that, and we'll add a banner too. There we go. We left a present for someone. It's nothing valuable, but we left it. All right. Well, then we got this. See, the view is great from up here in the morning. It's almost as great as the southern mountains. Okay. Are you hinting at something, that there's something better at the southern mountains? Too bad I used up my elytra. I need to repair it because I'm tempted. How much durability do I got on this thing? 38. I'm not going to be able to fly far. I'm also tempted to go to the southern mountains if there's mountains, because is that a clue? How far do you suppose this goes? 32. More banners. Okay, he's turning. Well, he went that straight too. I gotta watch my durability here. 30. Okay. Well, I'd say we came up here for a sign. Nad was here. We'll leave our banner. We need to get some more rockets. Okay, got more portals, more stuff. Come back this direction a little bit. I don't see no mountains. It looks like ocean. Huh. Alright, well, we better hop back down because our elytra's about finished. There we go. And continue. Well, that was cool. Nice little quotes and stuff. Something exciting to find. Leave our mark. Now continue the journey. I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna have to eat after this. I need to spend some more time in the trial chambers and try to get some more maces. At least the head of the mace, you know, the block. So difficult to get. I've got the one mace in my ender chest that I've put all the good enchants on and stuff. Of course, I don't use it for anything. It's the only one I have, so it's like I protect it with my, you know, like, okay, well, I've got the one, I've accomplished it, it's in my ender chest, it's going to stay there, right? Not that I would necessarily use it, because it's like, you know, I'm not a PvPer, and it's kind of useless anyways, because you're just going to get crystalled to death within milliseconds. Unless you go to some, you know, tournament. Man, butchering that. Or you're just playing with your friends or base mates or allies or whatever, and you're just gonna do some little fights and stuff, and so you know, lay down some rules. No crystals, swords only, or maces only, or bows only, or whatever. You know, those type of things can be fun. I lose most of the time. But PvP, ever since the crystal meta started really coming out on 2v2t, I don't see PvP as fun. Not that I ever considered it much fun, but it's like... And I've been crystalled several times during base attacks. There's not much you can do. I mean, except run. If you, especially for those that have all those mods and stuff that help them, to where they can place obsidian and crystals almost instantly. I could probably learn, you know, and strategize and find a way of, okay, this is how I would defend myself and how I could survive an attack and possibly turn it around, but again, it's just not something that I'm too interested in. Back into the water. Wonder if we're over the 200k mark now, since I last checked. It'd be good if we are, assuming we've got a long ways to go. So repairing our elytra and then keeping it repaired would be probably key if we want to speed up our journey at all. Boy, we really brought that down to next to nothing. We're going to have to be really careful about that. Get that repaired. Otherwise, I will be flightless. And we will not be able to escape when we need to. I don't know what I'm going to escape, but, a wither, maybe? It's probably about the only thing. If it was a player and they were attacking me, I guess that too. If I had enough rockets on me and good durability on elytra, you can escape a player by, doing some fast flying and maneuvering so that they lose your trail. They got to lose visibility and tracking first. That's the hardest part. You got to get out of range, And then once you're out of range, you got to strategize to either log so they don't know where you logged and they can't find you. Or, although there are mods that supposedly can show the logout spots, so that might not be the best idea. Another porthole. Let's see if we can follow the river. Is it wide enough? It is. Traveling by boat. How dare they? They're trying to shoot at me. Good thing they were a bad shot. They could have sunk my boat. Hello, Mr. Zombie. You can't catch me. I'm faster in the water. At least until you turn to a drown, and then you're a little faster. Oof, oof, they're shooting me. No! Save me, save me. Spiders and skellies and spiders, they're all over the place. It's always nighttime. Seems like it's always nighttime, at least. I swear, it seems like it's night more than it is day. Not sure if that's a fact, but it seems like it. Although, I remember on their server or whatever, on their website, it says that they adjusted it to where days are slightly longer than nights. But I don't know, it just seems like it's dark more than it is light every time I'm playing. Let's not fall down the giant hole. That will not help us in our journey. Let's see what we can find across the great ocean. The great ocean of 1.12 deadness. Ah, life. There's life on the other side of the 1.12 deadness. See, they got too close to this sand shoal here and sprung a hole. Split their ship open. Must have been carrying gunpowder and it blew up and split the ship nearly in half. Bad sailors, that's what I call it, you know? I mean, Minecraft seems to be very... tells a story that sailors don't do good on Minecraft because of all the sunken ships, right? And stranded ships. You never see a ship just floating perfectly in the water, moving along, traveling along its way, you know. And that's an active village. Sometimes where portals and villages and stuff are, you would get the impression that at one time sea levels were lower. And then global warming hit, and the water rose, and all the villages and peoples drowned. How sad. Yep. Let me see. If Antarctica melted and the Arctic melted, so the ocean level, what they say would raise like 150 feet. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a high rise, but I'm right at ocean. Well, I'm slightly above ocean level, but not much. It's possible that I would have, I'd either be underwater, my apartment, on the floor I'm at, or the water would be lapping at my balcony. Either way, it wouldn't be good. I'd probably have to move. Good thing there's mountains nearby. That would be quite the change, though, if... Imagine... I mean, it would be just like what you see in shows and movies and books and all of that. You know, it's like you'd have certain places, they'd decide, okay, we're going to build a wall around our city so that it doesn't drown, you know, and then others would say, okay, we're going to raise the city, we're going to move it up onto, you know, giant columns up above the water and still have our city and artificial ground, sort of. And then others are like, well, we're going to abandon it and move inland to higher ground. And truly, though, probably the biggest impact wouldn't necessarily, I mean, obviously cities and, you know, several billion people would need to move, but biggest impact would be the reduction in farmlands, because most farmlands, even the ones that are a long ways inland, are not high in elevation. And whether you're growing rice or wheat or other crops, salt water's not gonna help. Hello, bunnies. We must go around the giant chasm. Ah, you just had to hit me, didn't you? Couldn't just leave me alone. Let me continue on my journey. So mean. What happened to the friendly mobs, you know? Where's the friendly zombie and the friendly skeleton and the friendly creeper and the friendly spider? Shouldn't there be friendly mobs? Why do they all have to be evil? It's like stereotyping, right? Poor zombie, you know, just wants to have a good life. He can't help what he is. We're doing a lot of hopping here, up and down the hills, since our elytra is kaput. Otherwise, I could have flown over that. Haven't seen an outpost yet. We've been hitting newer territories, but I haven't seen an outpost show up on within distance yet. Another floating village. Plenty of those around. But that don't quite help us. Looks like someone built up to this one. Built up and then they let some water down so they could get back down, even though they could have just jumped in the water. I guess. Floating grass. Floating dirt. I'd like to see that in real life. Well, I guess there is. I mean, in certain parts of Asia and South America and Africa, there's those like floating mats that naturally generate over time, and you know, I mean, plant material decomposes, so it slowly turns into a kind of like a muddy type dirt, rooted dirt, as you could say. And then on top of it, soil can start forming, and plants and trees and everything can grow on it, and it's floating. So I guess that's possible. Minecraft is not out of its mind by doing that. They just used the wrong block. They should have used rooted dirt for those. Rooted dirt or rooted mud would have been more appropriate. I've been looking around, you know, I've been exploring random videos just to kind of see, well, what else can I do? You know, what other types of farms can I build? What types of things can I get or collect and stuff? Recently, I came across a number of farms that I didn't actually know existed. It was like, oh, that's a renewable resource. What do you know? You know, so example, clay. I didn't know you could actually make clay. Now, it's an extenuous process. You take dirt, you add water, which turns it into mud. You dry it out, which turns it into clay. And then you can mine the clay and turn it into balls, which you could do with an autocrafter. And then cook it, and turn it into bricks. Oops. Which is always probably the most rare material when you're not in a creative world. Thank you very much, Dolphin. That was quite the boost. You know, on single player worlds, getting bricks to build with is like a nightmare, right? If you're not in creative. On 2B2T, there's some bricks because people did dupe them, but there's still not tons of it that I've seen. You know, when I've seen the dupe stashes and stuff, usually it's like a combined. You find like a building mat, right? It'll have bricks, and it'll have wood, and it'll have other things combined in it. And so you end up with 4 or 5 stacks of bricks, but you don't get entire shulks of bricks. Now, maybe they do exist. I just never come across one yet. So eventually I want to build that. It's not 100% automated because no matter what, you still have to, well, no, you can automate it, never mind. Because you can automate turning the dirt into mud with a dispenser, and then you just push the mud out of the way with a piston to so that it's just out in the open, and it's continuously being pushed by pistons, kind of like make a maze where it goes the maximum distance one direction, and then a new piston pushes it the maximum distance another direction, and during that process it dries out so that you get the clay. Oh, well, okay, well, fine. Server said, you don't want to go that way. We're going to take you back in time. Then once it dries out, you blow it up with TNT, collect the blocks, which then get put into an autocrafter to make the balls, and that automatically feeds into furnaces to make the bricks, and then you can put it into another autocrafter to make it into the actual bricks, the brick blocks. And you would throw on a farm, whether it's a carpet duper, probably that's the easiest one, to supply the furnaces with fuel. So yeah, we can fully automate that. That would be, I would like to do that. I would like to make one of those farms. Another one is basalt. I don't know why. When I saw it, I remembered. I go, oh yeah, you can do that. I've seen this before. But you know, I was doing a lot of building with basalt previously, you know, and even in my current build. And I would go and set up a beacon in the nether and go mine tons of basalt in the basalt biome and stuff like that, right? It's like, I could have just created a farm just like we have with the stone farm, and I would have basalt. All you do is use lava and soul soil, and when the lava touches the soul soil, it turns the lava into basalt, and then you blow it up with TNT. So I need to do that farm too. My ultimate goal on my other accounts and my base and everything is I'd like to have one entire dub of shulks of every block in a stash or in multiple stashes. Now, some things I've traded for. So recently I've you know, we built the candle kits, right? So I traded candle kits and a couple other things for a full dub of shulks of blaze rods. So I have an entire dub of blaze rods, shulks of blaze rods now, which is awesome because, you know, yeah, sure, you could use it for potions and whatnot, but that's not why I wanted it. I wanted it because you need blaze rods to make copper bulbs, and copper bulbs are really cool. You can do a lot of neat building with them, and so that's what I wanted them for. So now I've got it. Complete supply. So that's awesome. I've also got a full dub of shulks of dark oak and pale oak, which are two next to impossible things to get because you, unless, I don't know, maybe I haven't seen it and maybe someone can comment, but it's hard to get the frickin' saplings. I have the farm to blow up the wood, grow the trees and blow up the wood and all of that and automate that, but the saplings are next to impossible to get or take a long time. You have to go devastate an entire forest by harvesting all of the leaves to try to get as many saplings as possible. Because the farm, unlike other farms, you don't get a return of saplings. You don't get 100% return. All right, we're gonna pause here and stay the night. Thanks for joining, everybody. Take care.